No one can match his voice. But why is Dimash so underrated? He sings in 8 languages, has a range no one alive can replicate, and the kind of stage presence that makes stadiums hold their breath. But what is the reason that someone gifted with a once-in-a-generation voice still remain just under the surface of mainstream fame? What if the world hasn't overlooked Dimash by accident? Who benefits from keeping Dimash a secret? And what has he risked by refusing to play along? More than just the talent that he was born with, this story is about the sacrifice, cultural resistance, and a quiet rebellion. Because once you understand who Dimash really is and what he's chosen to give up for his art, you'll never listen to him the same way again. From the very start, Dimash's life felt like the goddess of music was pulling the strings from heavens. Born on May 24, 1909 in the western city of Aktobe, Kazakhstan, he was practically raised in a musical household. His father, a poet and singer, and his mother, a renowned soprano, filled the home with melody and warmth. Dimash was introduced to structured music education by age 5, and while most children were learning their ABCs, he was learning complex piano keys and vocal techniques at the Akhmet Zhubanov Music College, an institution known for training Kazakhstan's finest. Even as a child, Dimash's appetite for sound, art, and creative expression was insatiable. He learned multiple instruments, from the dombra to drums, and absorbed styles that ranged from classical and folk to blues and pop, always chasing a sound that felt truly his own. It's easy to romanticize his childhood, but imagine the pressure on those small shoulders. Endless hours of practice, the expectations of growing up in a musical household, and the tension between being a prodigy and still being just a boy. In an environment made to test him at every turn, Dimash truly flourished beautifully. He earned perfect scores in school, completed a master's degree with top honors at the Kazakh National University of Arts, and even received recommendations to pursue a PhD. While his peers were still trying to figure out what to do with their lives, Dimash was already performing internationally and refining a thesis on the image of traditional musicians. His academic background wasn't a plan B to fall back on. Rather, it gave him the intellectual grounding to shape his voice beyond a just performance, a message. That message found its first global stage in 2015, when Dimash won the Slaviansky Bazaar competition in Belarus, a platform known for launching talents across Eastern Europe. And then in 2017, the moment that changed everything, his participation in the Chinese show Singer. Unlike Western audition shows filled with amateurs and hopefuls, Singer was an elite competition of seasoned professionals. And yet, here came Dimash, practically unknown in China, stepping into that arena as the youngest contestant. He chose to sing SOS d'un terrien en détresse, a haunting French classic known for its brutal vocal demands. The language wasn't his, he'd learned it phonetically, but none of that mattered. As he sang, the room transformed. Judges stood, viewers at home wept, and his performance went viral across continents. What people didn't see was the work behind the scenes, the hours spent perfecting pronunciation, the strain of singing at the edge of his 6-octave range, the mental exhaustion of pouring everything into a single song, night after night. In later episodes, he sang in Mandarin, once again a language he didn't speak, delivering the ballad Autumn Strong with such raw feeling that it crossed all barriers. Even people who had no idea what the lyrics meant felt something in their hearts. And this is Dimash's gift, the ability to sing beyond just to ears, but to souls. People in Europe, Latin America, and the Middle East started discovering him. His voice was being compared to greats like Andrea Bocelli, Freddie Mercury, and Luciano Pavarotti. He could do opera, pop, rock, jazz, often within the same song. But instead of chasing fame around the globe, he returned home to continue his training and compose music. His next leap came in 2019 on The World's Best, a US-based talent competition judged by global experts. From the very beginning, Dimash was a fan favorite. His presence, elegance, and of course his voice earned thunderous praise. But then something unexpected happened. Just before the championship round, Dimash withdrew for a reason that you'd never expect. He didn't want to compete against a teenage pianist, feeling it was unfair to place a seasoned professional like himself against a child still establishing their craft. Needless to say, his decision was shocking. Some judges criticized him, others pleaded with him to reconsider, but he stood on his ground. In a world that often teaches us to chase our ambition, even at the cost of trampling others, Dimash chose humility. The bold move showed the truth. Beyond his voice, Dimash was a man of deep convictions. But even convictions have their cost. After the show, he went silent for months. He had developed a serious vocal strain. For someone whose identity was so closely tied to his voice, it was terrifying. Imagine not knowing if your gift would ever fully return. He didn't perform, he barely posted, and to say that fans were worried would be an understatement. When he finally returned to the stage in 2020 in Almaty, Kazakhstan, it felt miraculous in the best way. His voice had lost none of its fire, and the crowd welcomed him like a returning hero. What they didn't know was how close they came to losing him. The years that followed saw Dimash expanding his influence across genres and borders. In early 2025, he teamed up with Grammy-winning producer Walter Afanasieff to release Love's Not Over Yet, a sweeping ballad about love, loss, and fate. The teaser alone showed a grittier, more emotional version of Dimash that broke many hearts. On his birthday, Dimash released Tao Ishinde, a love letter to his roots and his fans, an anthem in the Kazakh language. He also announced a global fan challenge by asking dears to make tribute videos and keeping free flights, hotels, and concert tickets as the prize. In June, he held a live fan meeting in Barcelona, attended by over 400 fans from across the world. Not only did he converse in Spanish, but he also teased a Spanish-language song for his November show. He revealed plans to launch a vocal competition co-produced with Chinese network Hunan TV, where he would serve as producer and jury president. For someone once dubbed underrated, he was in the position to orchestrate the careers of others. July 2025 became witness to a historic moment. Dimash sang My Way on stage with José Carreras, Placido Domingo, and HAUSER. A generational bridge with opera royalty beside the Kazakh prodigy. It was a spiritual passing of the torch, broadcast from Vietnam's Ho Guam Theater, met with a standing ovation. Yet despite all of this, some still ask, why hasn't he broken into the American mainstream the way he deserves? The answer is complex. He sings in many languages, but rarely English. His genre-defying style makes him hard to market. He doesn't fit the mold of pop, nor does he conform to what classical fans expect. He's too versatile, broad, and deeply rooted in tradition, and yet too modern to be pinned down. And perhaps most importantly, he refuses to play the fame game. He guards his privacy and doesn't chase gossip or manufacture drama. In an age of curated personas, Dimash chooses to be mysterious to guard his private life. That mystery extends to his love life too. Fans have speculated for years about an old university flame who once deleted her social media after being hounded by his fan base. There was the iconic photo of Dimash holding hands with a masked woman, but nobody knows if it was a music video teaser or a romantic confession. When asked in interviews, he simply replied, "My heart belongs to music." And now he is preparing for massive upcoming shows. New York's Madison Square Garden in October, Barcelona in November, London soon after. His future includes more original music, more international collaborations, and a desire to nurture young talent. Dimash's fame is different. It's grand but not sudden. Rather, it's been built note by note, choice by choice. What part of his journey resonates most with you? Do share your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching.